You guys love my story, so I thought I'd share a personal one that I have never shared before. It is about death and dying, but it's not about a hospice patient. It's about one of my best friends who died when I was 17. I have alluded to the fact that I have definitely dealt with grief and loss in my life, and this was the first time in my life that I understood that people die. I was 17 years old. Super complicated time anyway for anybody, and then my best friend died. So grief, guilt and shame for not being there, guilt for living and her not living. I just spiraled into this grief cycle of not fully understanding why this would happen. Anyway, for a decade, I sought and sought and sought. I went to psychic medium after psychic medium after psychic medium. I wrote into TV shows. I went to Lilydale, this psychic village, all to try to connect with my best friend again. And nothing ever happened, or I felt like I never really connected with her. So it was really hard. I didn't know how to process it all. And I kind of just stopped trying after a while. Now, cut to 7 years ago, I probably was 32. By this time, I'd gone to therapy. I'd done a lot of work on myself. I really felt like I had not moved on. Of course, I still missed her, but it wasn't this devastating blow that I had been years prior. So randomly, a friend of a friend was like, oh my gosh, I met this guy. He's a psychic medium. You need to call him. He's the best. And I was like, I used to be into that. I don't really need to do it anymore. And she was like, no, you have to talk to this guy. He's amazing. So kind of on a whim and for fun, I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. And I know you're not supposed to do this, but I was like, I have it in my head what this guy has to say for me to believe that he's talking to my best friend. And it was a nickname that her and I shared. I had a nickname, she had a nickname. They were super, super weird. No one would ever know these nicknames because they weren't like Sweetie or Cutie. They were very weird and distinct to us. I was like, I'm not going to believe it unless he says this. And you guys, I talked to him for 2 seconds and he was like, oh, there's a young woman here. She's jumping up and down. She's so excited to see you. Oh my God, makes me want to cry. And she's not calling you by your name. She's calling you by this weird nickname, some weird nickname that I wouldn't even, I don't know. It's a man's name. It's this weird nickname. Instant tears. I'm talking hysteria. I thought I had gotten over this and healed the wound. The second he mentioned the nickname, I lost my shit. Anyway, needless to say, he talked to my best friend and I got to talk to her, and it was the most healing conversation I've ever had in my life.